If you've been watching my channel for a while now, and I'm sure there are plenty of you out there that have been, you'll know that I have a fairly obsessive relationship with sniping in first-person shooters. In fact, 4 of the top 5 videos on my channel are specifically focused on sniper rifles. That kind of evidence would imply that there are lots of people who watch my videos who want to know about sniper rifles, and so without further ado, I want to introduce you to the Merc in Dirty Bomb called Vassili, who's equipped with a bolt-action rifle. Now, before I get into what this guy is like, I want to let you know how you can get your hands on him, because a lot of people aren't 100% sure how the character system in Dirty Bomb really works. So, when you play the game, you get XP. At the end of every round, it totals up how many kills you've got, assists, and everything like that. But it also gives you credits. Now, before you go saying, oh, you can just buy these and then you can buy all the players, yes, you can unlock all the Mercs for money if you really want to, but someone like me, I like to grind my way through things and feel like I've actually achieved something. So at the end of the round, you get given these credits. And you need 1,000 of them to unlock a crate. Now, any of you who are familiar with Counter-Strike, you're probably going to know what I'm going to say here, but you can then open these crates, and then you get like a random card that's got a loadout on it and one of the Mercs. And depending on which card you get, you're going to get a different loadout and of a different rarity, which is the important point here. I ended up buying 20 of these crates with the coins that I'd won at the end of the round, and 19 of them came out with the lowest rarity possible. And then, I think it was the 17th crate that I opened, if I remember correctly, I got this guy, and he is a silver level variant of the Merc Vasil. Now, I'm not 100% sure how the scaling of that works. I guess that the higher the rarity is, well, maybe the better the stuff you get, or the cooler the stuff you get, but it's safe to say that I managed to get a fairly high level Merc here. And I was so happy that it was a sniper guy, because I really wanted to get my hands on it in-game. It's quite difficult to do that when you're a low-level player. But back to how he plays, because that's quite important, because I want to show off what's the best way to utilize this guy. He can carry one of 3 sniper rifles. I think the one I've got is the MOA, or the MOA. Then you've got the PDP-70 or the FEL-IX, or I think that's like the FEL-4, maybe with Roman numerals, or it could be called the FEL-IX. So I'm going to call it FEL-IX because it's just better that way. But my variant, as I said, the MOA, kind of feels like a middle-of-the-road sniper rifle. It's not massively powerful, but it's not rubbish either, and it's got a fairly good rate of fire, which means you can follow up shots quite quickly. So far, from what I've used of it, any range is a one-shot headshot, so it doesn't really matter how far away or how close you are to your enemy. If you hit them in the head, they are going to die straight away. Although that might not be correct, because depending on the Merc that you're shooting at, then you might not be able to take them down. If you came up against Rhino, for example, who has 150 health, it's probably going to take more than one shot to kill him, because he's got that extra 50% health that no one else really has. The reason that I say it's a middle-of-the-road sniper rifle is not so much down to its stats, but more down to the game itself. As the game is so fast-paced, it encourages you to stick with your team closely, because the more of you there are in one space, if an enemy comes around the corner and there are 3 of you looking at him, you're going to kill him very quickly. And as I said in my last video, all of the Mercs have lots of strengths and lots of weaknesses at the same time. So if you're all in a close-knit group, then you're going to fit together like a jigsaw puzzle, and you'll probably end up being the better team. So with that analogy in your head, playing the sniper role becomes a lot harder than you think. Scoping in with a high-powered optic means you lose the valuable peripheral vision that you've got, because it's replaced with the blackness of the scope around the edge of the screen. You lose all sense of what's going on around you, and it leaves you extremely exposed. The best thing you can do is stay back from the action as much as you can, just like a normal sniper rifle would actually do. But that's exactly the opposite of what the game wants you to do, because it wants you to play in a tight-knit team up front, trying to kill people all the time. So it's completely the opposite of what the gameplay style is trying to offer you, which is why this class is difficult to play. If you are one of those players though who's willing to get a little bit closer to the action, and on occasion I decided to go for it, or you're defending like the objective, that's always a good place to stay because you want to hold that as much as you can. Imagine it like a game of Rush. If you're like a sniper, you're going to sit back where the MCOMs are, but if you're like an assault guy, you're going to go out of the base and push forward a little bit. So yeah, if you are willing to push forward, you can drop what's called a heartbeat sensor, and you can detect enemy movement, which will sound very familiar to anyone who knows what the motion balls are in Battlefield 4. It puts the enemy on the minimap as well as the 3D HUD in front of you, and it puts little like red diamonds up there. But my problem with that is that you can actually see players through walls with that, which feels a little bit overpowered. And like I said, the game is in beta, so hopefully they can change that, because I'd like to be able to only see those diamonds if the enemy is in my line of sight. And the other perk that Vassili has is a slightly faster than average sprint speed at 420. And for comparison, because 420 is just a number and you're not really going to know what that's compared to, Aura, who is the fastest Merc in the game, has a sprint speed of 470. And Rhino, who is like the slowest player in the game, he jogs along at 350. So it's kind of in the middle, but a little bit higher than the standard 400. So he can get himself out of tight situations a little bit quicker. But most of the time, if you're playing close quarter sniping games and somebody comes around the corner with a shotgun, you're going to get killed very quickly. So in comparison to playing some of the more versatile Mercs in this game, Vassili is not the most efficient at being able to combat anything that he comes across. But if you're looking for that sniping experience and you don't mind dealing with how much faster and quicker that you'll need to be when acquiring and shooting targets, then he's a blast to use. He is just your bog standard sniper. I'm still of the opinion that sniping is one of the harder aspects of first-person shooter games. Training yourself to aim as best as you can and getting some muscle memory going is actually a very difficult thing to achieve if you don't do it very often. But once you get the hang of it, it's like a scratch, and you've got to keep itching it all the time. Thanks very much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed the video by leaving me a like, and if you want to see more, leave me a comment down below today. And don't forget to hit up g2a.com/r/Westy and grab yourself a great deal. Links in the description. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.